Hello and welcome to this BuyBotPro video. Today I'm going to be talking you through a couple of podcast resources that you can use to help expand your knowledge of selling on Amazon and everything entailed in that process. So the reason why I'm referring you to a selection of podcasts is because it is basically free information. And with all of these paid for courses that you are prompted to go for, of course, if you find those helpful, and quite a lot of them are helpful, then by all means go ahead and sign up for a course like that. But any free information is good information. Why pay for something when you can get it for free? So the podcast seasons that I'm going to talk you through, 3 of them are limited time seasons whereby there were only 6 episodes per season, but it basically covers everything you need to know for that particular topic. And then there are 2 podcasts that are ongoing that are posted quite frequently, weekly, every other week, something like that. So once you finish with these limited time seasons, then you can move on to the ongoing ones to keep up with learning these kinds of things. So the first podcast I want to refer you to, and by the way, these are available on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. The first one is called the Amazon FBA Arbitrage Podcast. So basically, this one is all about getting started with selling on Amazon. All of the basics are things like, sourcing, how to do that, some tips and tricks for doing that more effectively, what FBA and FBM is, what deal analysis is, the difference between online and retail arbitrage, planning your business year, and products that you're going to sell in each quarter, assessing competition on listings, and learning about the buy box. So all of the Amazon selling basics, and the end episode for these seasons is a bit of a round off, and then it points you into the direction of where you want to be to carry on your journey. So that is the first one. The second one is the Wholesale on Amazon podcast. This one is a little bit niche. So if you are looking to go down the wholesale route, then this is the season for you. So it's an introduction to FBA, FBM, and the wholesale method, what exactly that is, how to find wholesale suppliers, how to communicate with them, the difference between private label and wholesale, how to make quantity decisions and find out total costs. And this one, even if you aren't doing wholesale, this episode here, so being aware of Amazon suspensions and rules, regardless of what your preferred selling method is on Amazon, this is a very important episode to pay attention to because suspensions and rules apply to every single Amazon seller. So even if you're not interested in wholesale, I would recommend giving a listen to this episode anyway, because it is very important. The last of the 3 limited time seasons is the Amazon Repricer podcast. So it's basically all about repricing. It is such a huge topic, and it's an important part of the selling process. Once you purchase your product and you go to sell it on Amazon, you then need to be able to reprice it and understand what's involved in that process. So it's talking about what a repricer is, so an introduction to it if you've not come across one before, and why it's important, tips for setting good minimum and maximum prices, choosing the correct strategy for your items, using automations to help you become more hands-free in your business, when to get a paid repricer and what the differences are between a paid one and Amazon's one, and then where you'd go from there in terms of continuing your repricing journey. If you find yourself liking those podcast seasons and you've gotten started with selling on Amazon, you've worked your way through and you're at the beginning of your journey, if you want more podcasts, if you want more of that kind of information, then you will find the Online Arbitrage podcast and the Retail Arbitrage podcast very, very useful. Obviously, the clue is in the name, but it talks about all sorts. So obviously, Online Arbitrage podcast, everything to do with online arbitrage, the differences between Amazon and eBay, what deal leads are, virtual assistant management tips, where to find deals, leveling up your Amazon seller account, the guide to analyzing competition. There's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. This one is a season that is posted at least once a month. You might get another episode in a month as well, but it is more of a monthly podcast, whereas the Retail Arbitrage podcast, as I say, the clue is in the name, but that one is posted weekly. It's all about, what kind of stores you want to go to, how to find products in these stores, how to plan your journeys when you are going out and about to do a day of retail arbitrage. And then it will dive into things like the art of negotiation, how compatible retail and online arbitrage are. You've got a bit more on Amazon versus eBay in there. Then you have news from us about our softwares as well. So anything that's going on with BuyBotPro, I mean, to be fair, this podcast season heavily focuses on the use of BuyBot Go, but we do talk a little bit in there about Profit Protect Pro, and we have just unveiled a brand new software called Skewify, which we have talked about in this episode right here, and then building a software ecosystem. So the podcast seasons do cover a whole range of topics. Of course, you've got the main focuses, but we do like to delve off into other topics as well from time to time. Just that way you are not just learning about one thing and one thing alone, you are learning about lots of different topics. So you don't have to start in any particular order. In whatever order you want to start in, you might have the ongoing ones that you'll listen to weekly or something like that whilst you're following the limited time seasons, or you might do those first, then move on to the ongoing ones. It's completely up to you. But the perks to podcasts is the fact that you can basically just listen to them anywhere. So as I say, they're available on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you do like the limited time seasons, just reach out to us at info@buybotpro.com. Those were put together by myself. Let us know how you're getting on with them, and perhaps a second season will be in order. But ultimately, I just wanted to do this video to let you know that there is a whole abundance of free knowledge out there for you. Very easy to get hold of. You don't have to pay for anything. And those are all of the podcast shows. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.